Good evening, everyone. Well, at least good evening for me. It is 1:03 in the morning here. Please send help. Good news, the studio update just before the latest Janthir Wilds patch, Absolution, has landed, and with it, we have a decent amount of rather interesting information. I've taken a quick skim read through, and there is some stuff in here that I am personally very, very happy about. So we're going to have a run through this and we're going to see what all the fuss is about, and then I'll let you know all the stuff that I think is personally really, really exciting. Now we are just about a week out from the next Janthir Wilds patch, Absolution, and with that we are getting a new fractal, which personally I am super keen for, a new legendary back piece, so if you are in need of one and enjoy Janthir Wilds, it's going to be a great way for you to get it. We got some more homestead upgrades, and I'm always a big enjoyer of quality of life changes. More relics, fun for me. I like making builds. Relics make that more fun. Get a whole bunch of new stuff in the Wizard's Vault. That's great. The Wizard's Vault is a great source of gold for me. It's honestly where most of my gold comes from nowadays. We're getting some updates to convergences, which is great. And we're going to get another round of Twitch drops to celebrate the release, which is always very exciting. So if you are a free loot enjoyer, make sure to come hang out with us on Twitch next week. We're going to be streaming a whole bunch for basically all of next week once the patch drops, so I'll keep everyone updated on that, but it's going to be a good time. And we don't know what the specific drops are yet, but they should announce that in the next few days or so, and when they do, I'll make sure to drop a video to let people know what is in store, so make sure you subscribe to be the first to know about that. Now we've got a trailer for the next patch, so let's dive on in.
You've borne witness to our folly, but there's more. Please, let me show you.
Now, personally for me, I am a huge enjoyer for anything tied to the Masat. The Masat lore that we got in Living World Season 3 is some of my favourite content in all of Guild Wars 2, so more stuff about the Masat, personally, I am very happy with. And it looks as though we're getting a new map to explore, Bavanisos, which is incredibly exciting. And yeah, with Mistburn Barrens, even though I quite enjoyed the map, I enjoyed the meta events and the frequency at which the events occurred. There was always something to do in that map. It was quite small, so having another map here is fantastic. And we're getting a Gorseval inspired open world boss, which one of my favorite raid bosses I'm very excited for. And also because the Raid Wings 1 through 4, of which Gorseval takes part of, all sort of feeds into the White Mantle lore as well, so I am very keen to see that. In the same way, we got additional Deimos lore as a part of Secrets of the Obscure, so honestly my favourite Raid Wings are getting more lore tied to them. It's a good time. I mean, that's just horrific.
Now that burden falls to you. Will you help me one last time, Wayfinder?
Not sure exactly what this zone is likely to be. There might be some lore aficionados that might be able to shed some more light, but given that we have got the Titans to deal with, and I'm not particularly up to date with my Guild Wars 1 lore, I'm still yet to actually play Guild Wars 1 Prophecies, actually. We've done factions, Eye of the North, starting to dive into a bit of Nightfall, haven't actually done Prophecies yet. So everything we know about the Titan lore, it kind of comes from Wooden Potatoes videos from a few years ago, but this does give the vibes of maybe going through the door of Kamali into the Titan's homeland. I'm not 100% sure if that's tied to Menzies. If you are a lore enjoyer for Guild Wars, do let me know. Okay, with Absolution, we are getting the Janthir story finale. I personally really enjoyed the Janthir story, so I'm keen to see that play out. We're getting the new explorable map and a new meta, which is fantastic. New legendary backpack, new fractal, super keen for that, and a challenge mode coming out. Convergences, we are finally getting Ura in convergences instead of just Greer and Decima, getting some more masteries, which is great. I'm curious to see what they do with the masteries in this new patch, because a lot of the masteries, I think, for Janthir Wilds, aside from everything Warclaw related, a lot of the masteries have been, I know, a little bit lackluster, I think, and some of them have been really only ways to navigate around these specific maps or straight up rehashes of things like adrenal mushrooms and the like. So I'm keen to see if these are, a bit more impactful. But either way, we get to see mastery number go up, so that's fun. Maybe we get some new homestead decorations, Wizard Vault refresh, new weapon set, relics, more achievements, yada yada yada. It's going to be good. But yeah, I'm very excited to finish up the Janthir Wilds story, close off everything with the Titans. It has been, personally, I very much enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And again, more stuff for the Massart lore I'm very keen for. And here we go. Now it's confirmed that we are going to be exploring Bava Nisos, the new map, and it includes a map-wide meta event, which I'm very, very keen for, because even though there was sort of ongoing events in Mistburn Barrens, it didn't really constitute a map-wide meta event. And given that this meta is going to be including 3 main lanes, I'm getting some big sort of Dragon Stand vibes here. So I'm keen for a nice big open world event. It'll be great to see just how rewarding this meta is, what kind of timer it's set up on, whether it just occurs at a set interval or whether you have to sort of progress the map to a certain point. So that will be interesting to see. But a big sort of map-wide meta event is something we really don't have in Janthir Wilds so far. Lowland Shore has a few sort of smaller meta events, mainly sort of the Bog Queen. You have the twin bosses in Janthir Sentry, although I wouldn't really say that's a map-wide meta event as really 2 bosses that occur on a basically timer. But getting this type of big map-wide meta event is something we haven't really had in Janthir Wild, so getting it now I'm going to be very happy with. And yeah, like I mentioned before, with convergences we are now getting the Ura boss, so another boss for convergences is more content, which is nice. It's actually been a while for me since I have done any of the convergences, because a few months ago I finished crafting the Janthir Wild Spear. Before that I was doing quite a few convergences, so I might have to dive back into them, particularly now that we are getting challenge modes for them as well, because when the challenge modes for the Secrets of the Obscure convergences came out, the rewards for those were absolutely astronomical. Oh, you're trying to get comfortable. You want to be closer. Oh, there you go. That's a better spot. It'll be interesting to see the new level of difficulty with the convergence challenge modes. I think overall the Secrets of the Obscure challenge modes were tuned pretty well, although personally coordinating a full map of 50 people into subgroups was definitely a bit of a administration nightmare. But I think if the new convergence CMs are around sort of about the Soto level of difficulty, I'll be pretty happy with that. And we're getting a new fractal kinfall that's going to be landing on launch, and we'll be getting a challenge mode for that later on in June. Now for the new fractal, will be stepping into the role of a small band of Lowland Coden as they defend their homeland during the Ice Period invasion of Northern Tyria, as they hear the whispers of the legendary dragon Jormag. Now this is the part I am very excited for. In response to player feedback with Kinfall, we've intentionally stepped back from the raid-like complexity of more recent fractals in favor of a streamlined and repeatable experience reminiscent of some of our earlier fractals. Now this is stuff that put a big old grin on my face. My personal favorite fractal is Sunqua Peak, because I think it's a super fun, super engaging boss fight, and it is paced impeccably. It is just such a fun encounter, especially once you get it down. Whereas a lot of the more recent fractals, be it Silent Surf or Lonely Tower, they are tuned much more, even especially in the case of Silent Surf, they're tuned to be far more similar to strike missions and raids, even though I think with Silent Surf it straight up has the health of a 10-person strike mission for a 5-person encounter. So it just takes absolute ages. And I think we see that as well with the level of engagement in fractals. It really sort of drops off with Silent Surf and especially Lonely Tower, whereas Sunqua Peak, Shattered Observatory, Nightmare, all those fractals and those corresponding challenge modes are done consistently. Everyone blasts through them, everyone loves them, whereas opinions on Silent Surf and Lonely Tower are much more, let's call it, diverse. So I'm happy to see a return to the older fractal philosophy, because if I'm doing a fractal, I don't particularly want to do a strike mission. We've got strike missions for that. I think the best thing about fractals is just the sheer speed and pace of them. You see this with just how fast you can blast through a lot of other fractals, and especially on the pacing of the Sunqua Peak boss fight. So having that sort of design philosophy brought back, super excited for. Now, if you're a Homestead enjoyer, ArenaNet is doubling the decoration cap to 2,000, which is going to open up a whole realm of new possibilities for Homestead decoration. I personally haven't delved into Homestead decoration yet. I've been absolutely tunnel visioning getting my EU account geared up in Legendaries, but super happy for the Homestead enjoyers out there. And we're going to get some new Homestead customization options as well. Looks like in the gem store, there's going to be some options to customize the appearance of the Homestead sky. It's just a matter of time before certain Homestead customization options made their way to the gem store, although personally that Aurora Borealis effect looks absolutely incredible. And later on in the year we're going to get some skins for our conjured doorways as well. We've long theorized that doorway skins would make their way to the gem store, and it's been confirmed. Now, what I am super excited for, along with fractals, this is probably the thing that got me absolutely grinning. We'll get the Wizard's Portal Tome, which will hold our collection of Portal Scrolls. Good lord, I am so excited about this. I have so many Portal Scrolls sitting in my shared inventory slot on my NA account, or just strewn across various characters on EU, so having this just consolidated, oh, we've wanted this for absolute ages, and I am so keen. And looks like an endlessly efficient wizard's gobbler. So it looks as though the various festival gobblers will be combined, which is great. I personally use the candy corn gobbler and the snowflake gobbler all the time, so this is fantastic. We get to consolidate those a lot more, especially if you have tons and tons of these. That's going to be great. I'll get some more details of that in a blog later this week, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, in terms of what we have to look forward to, so for June, we have the last Janthir Wilds patch. We'll have the Dragon Bash Festival. There is the skills and balance update, which I haven't covered, but the changes to that look absolutely incredible. I'm very excited for that. A lot of big reworks as well. And we're going to get the fractal challenge mode for the new Kinfall fractal, so that's exciting. In July, so just a month away, we'll be getting the expansion announcement before it lands in October. There will be the Return to Secrets of the Obscure event, so I'm going to be very interested to see what the rewards look like for that, especially because I think the Secrets of the Obscure maps, outside really the metas that pop up, they haven't been particularly popular. So getting some more people shuffled back into those maps is a good thing. And we've got the World vs. World Rush bonus event coming in July as well. Personally, I'm going to have to make a big mental note to actually hit up this event. I've missed the last, I think, few of these. I don't know how many there's been. I have not actually partaken in World vs. World Rush event, and I kick myself every time because I'm going to need a whole bunch of Gifts of Battle very soon, and I know this is a super quick way to get multiple Gifts of Battle. I think it's a few hours work, and yeah, people in the stream were talking about getting multiple Gifts of Battle, which was insane, so I'm going to make sure to hit on that. And in August, we're getting another PvP push beta event. I played a little bit of push in the last few weeks, just trying to finish off stuff with the PvP rush on various accounts. And personally, I've actually quite enjoyed that. Push has been a nice change of pace from Conquest, and I definitely enjoy it a lot more than I have Stronghold in the past. So keen to see some more iteration on the game mode. I think it's got great potential, actually, especially because if you are in the situation where your team is completely outclassed, the match will probably be over very quickly, which is good because it saves you from sort of slogging it out and just being stuck there knowing that you can't win and not really being able to do anything. So at least the suffering will be over quickly. Although one thing I have seen is if you and the other team are quite evenly matched, the match can basically just go on until the timer runs out. So I'll be keen to see what sort of changes or what sort of strategies people start to implement to make sure that that doesn't happen, because I have been in a few matches that have gone, to the full 15-minute time limit, and compared to when you have a match that can just go for 2 minutes or so and then having one that goes for 15 minutes, the 15 minutes are definitely the far less frequent occurrence, but it's still a lot. And in August, we're also getting the Festival of the Four Winds, so now's a good time to start gambling for those infusions, I guess. But thank you all very much, everyone, for watching. I'm personally very keen for what we have coming up for Guild Wars 2. Janthir Wilds Absolution patch, very exciting. Skills and Balance patch is going to be hype as well. That is a huge amount of content. And just quietly, Heal Vindicator is going to be a thing, which is a Revenant main, makes me outstandingly happy. I'll also make sure to keep you up to date with what these specific drops are, so make sure to subscribe for that so you can be the first to know. And next week for the patch, we're going to be streaming a ton on Twitch. We'll be streaming almost every day next week for the new patch, so make sure to come hang out with us on Twitch. You better get your Twitch drops, no issues whatsoever. I look forward to seeing everyone there. But for now, I'll catch you all next time, and cheers.